Hey everybody, it's Bust with Bust Builds Decks number 20, continuing our playthrough of Balatro. And so for today's video, I felt like 20 is kind of a milestone video, right? It's not a spectacular one like 100 or 500 or whatnot, but we got 20 of these things in. We're off to the races in terms of playing the deck builders these days, and it feels pretty good to get up to that big number. To help celebrate the big number 20, we're going to try and finish off the orange stake on the yellow deck, see if we can't unlock the final deck in the game, and then use that to kind of push forward in terms of clearing out all of the decks. And so let's dive on in, see how this goes, see if we can't get ourselves a successful little run here today. And so what do we got to kick things off with? Additional vouchers don't want, +3 hand size, not super important here on round 1, and then spades are debuffed against the boss. Looks like we'll be battling through all of these here at the start. And so why not just kick off with an ace-high flush? It should get us the 300 chips right away. Or an ace-high straight, I'm sorry. And so yeah, it's interesting with the milestone videos, right? If you're not familiar with the channel, we played Expedition in Legends of Runeterra. That was the draft format within the game. Right around Expedition number 500, they just completely removed it from the game, no longer playable. Then we switched to playing the constructed, the PvP format of Legends of Runeterra. Right as we got to video number 500 or so, they announced that they're just completely gutting PvP from the game. And so while I don't intend on playing 500 videos of Balatro. I don't think this game's going to hold my attention for a year and a half, 2 years it takes to do that. Who knows what we play in then, and just see if we can't just bring the death strike right in. And so we gotta watch ourselves with these milestone videos. Maybe we'll keep the games around, but bring the old death strike to the boss here. That's what we'll call it. But nonetheless, let's get back in to get to focus. In terms of the early start here, no jokers, which is kind of a bummer. I'm fine to open up the Arcana packs. I want to start with the big one. So if we find the Hermit in here, we're more likely to find it when we get 5 shots instead of 3, and then that'll let us get a little bit more money for the round. Doesn't turn up. We have the Convert to Spades, Convert to Wild Card, make something, just the Wheel of Fortune with no jokers, Glass Card, or Hearts. This is all pretty garbagey. These are not particularly good choices that we have amongst here. What's this? We can either go hearts or spades if we want to do the suits. Like, I would be much more impressed if we had the ability to do diamonds, right? So we could do like the king 9-7 of diamonds and push towards flushes a little bit. I guess the wild card is okay. I just don't really like pushing towards flushes. I'd rather be pushing towards the high card kind of strategy. Otherwise, glass card is fine. It's just not particularly strong in the early game, right? We don't have a ton of mult to be leveling this thing up with, and so all right, fine. I mean, I guess we'll take the hearts. The hearts are the most common one amongst the hand here. We'll just upgrade all 3 of the face cards into the hearts. Maybe something will play along with this as the run progresses. Otherwise, the last Arcana pack, let's just go ahead and crack it as well. Maybe we'll get a Hermit, maybe we'll get a Joker, maybe we'll just get a bunch of garbage, right? A bunch of Wheel of Fortunes with no a bunch of Wheel of Fortunes with no Jokers. Not like we ever hit on a Wheel of Fortune anyways, but is what it is. In terms of the tarot cards, I know they're covered up. We have the Devil, enhances something to a gold card, and then the Hierophant to enhance it to bonus cards. Probably use those to help us actually defeat the boss, if that's what we can build ourselves up to. All right, so how does this hand look? Is it just starting off with a big flush? All right, let's turn something gold real quick. I'm kind of okay with like the king, but I kind of feel like we're going to have to play the king here in a little bit. We did just swap into hearts, so maybe let's just do this 7. We could wait until after this hand, right? This is only going to be like a 275 point hand, but whatever. I did it. the best strategy you could get in any game, huh? Fuck it, whatever. I did it. And of course, look, if we want to come out and just play the 3 of a kind 7s that we just picked up, we just kind of messed up our 1 card. But let's at least push towards this heart flush and see where that gets us. We could try and hit a royal if we felt the desire, but I think this is good enough with the 5. Good deal. Collect those $3, get an extra interest off that as well. Big timing today. So speaking of big timing, it's March Madness time. It's March Madness season. We can come in and talk about that in just a moment. Hang on, I kind of want both of these jokers. We do tend to play a lot of flushes in the early game, and 10 malt on a flush is good. Straights I don't like nearly as much, but the foil is applied to this. I guess it is an eternal one, which we have to give a little bit more pause, a little bit more consideration to. Uh, that's not nearly as good as I thought it was going to be. Let's pick up the flush thing and then move forward. We'll keep our money in order, so we don't have to worry as much there. Now spades are debuffed. That's fine. But no, as March Madness season is here, it's upon us. The brackets have been announced and everything, and you may have a bracket to fill out at work. And the way they do it where I work, at least the way that they've done it over the course of the past 4 or 5 years, is they give like $100 to first, and then they give like $75 or $50 to second, and then like $25 to third. And that's all well and good, right? It's a fun little competition thing. If you don't care about sports or don't care about March Madness or don't care about basketball, you can still just pick the smallest number, right? The 1 seed's probably going to beat the 16, or you can go to ESPN and pick some random analyst and go with what they have to say. But they also have a last place prize. They give a $25 gift card to last place, and the EV on winning the $25 gift card is just much higher shooting for last place, right? It's much easier to just put all of the 16 seeds into the final 4, and you're probably like right on track in terms of just bombing and getting last place. But you have to watch yourself with that. That's a very kind of unfun way to go about things, right? Another thing that I've seen happen in the corporate world multiple times is it'll be like Christmas and the bosses will be like, hey, we had a decent year, we're going to buy like a TV and give it away at Christmas time. And then somebody wins the TV. Instead of being gracious and saying, hey boss, thanks for the TV, that was kind of cool of you to do that, they start bitching because it was like an LG instead of a Samsung or a Sony instead of whatever brand TVs are out there. And then the boss is like, oh cool, I tried to do something nice, the person just shit all over it, I'm not going to do that anymore. And so that's like my concern in terms of the bracket. As I come in and shoot for last place every single time, I don't want to be that guy that just gets it taken away because you've clearly found the proper strategy. And so I have a little bit of gamesmanship with this, right? I'm not taking the top tier deck to Friday Night Magic as I go. The way I do it is I pick the bracket in alphabetical order. And so you have a little bit of, gamesmanship in terms of just saying, hey, I didn't just pick all of the bad seeds and have them try to make their way to the final 4. I picked this with a different strategy, right? I chose a legitimate strategy, right? The first year my wife played fantasy football, her strategy was to pick players based on the dudes smiling in their pictures. She won the whole season, right? And so it's not, it's not like you just like completely went hardcore into that bad kind of finale. You had a touch of strategy to it, and I feel like 3 out of the last 4 years I've gotten last place. Last year I did not do it. I had like Alabama going very far, and Alabama has very strong basketball teams now. But I know this year Akron is going to be the winner. I think Alabama is up in the running. The other A, I believe, was Arizona running deep. But there's also the space for like a 16 seed to make their way into the Final Four. I forget who it is, but there's one section to where the people in the playoff game today or the play-in game today are like a B and a C. And those are the smallest ones within their division. And so there's a chance I'm going to have the 16 seed running into the Final Four. But Akron is going to be the big winner of the year. Ooh, sorry. I got distracted and I didn't want to switch back and forth between what we were doing. It was very important how you pick your bracket. And so, all right, let's move forward. And so here we have the Square Joker. Very interested. This is one of the kind of premier build-around chip-based cards if you're going to be going towards high cards or towards pairs, right? It's very easy to play a pair and 2 other cards. You can just play any 4 cards and get a high card plus a bonus into Square Joker. It does not tie into the flush card that we've already picked, but this is a very big build around otherwise. Even if you want, you can say, play a high card, play a high card, play a high card, then play the flush to finish off with. And so it does have a lot of value going in there. The bonus to this is it applies the chips every single time. But if you want to scale it up, you have to play 4. So if you do want to take that strategy, high card, high card, high card into flush, you do get the plus 12 chips attached to this thing, and then it puts the big plus chips on across the whole way. It's a very powerful thing there. Otherwise, the showman, not super interested in. And I do want to crack these Arcana packs first. I want to see if we can't spike a Hermit out here. Get us a big double up in the money. Didn't turn up, so we got Planets, Lucky card, Gold card, increase rank by 1, and then 2 Tarot cards. And so I'm kind of interested in building ourselves towards aces here a little bit. If you remember, we do have the bonus chip thing in hand. We can bonus up these 2 kings and then upgrade one of the kings into an ace and then generate 2 Tarot cards is what I'm kind of thinking. Like, I don't really want Lucky card. I don't want the planets. I don't want Gold card. And that's how I think we best make usage out of these last 2 things that we have. Or let's do it like this, actually, right? Let's do the king and the ace instead of both of the kings. So now we're going to have all of our, at least, aces upgraded in that sense. Let's create the tarot cards first as well, so we can use them right now if we want. So we got Convert to Spades and the Hanged Man. I'm just going to go ahead and Hanged Man out these cheaper plays. Now we can increase the rank of 2 cards. Oh, it is increase the rank of 2 cards by 1. I was thinking convert left to right. That's one of the more popular ones that I like. All right, Arcana pack in. Still no Hermits. Sad day. So here we can convert something into steel. Very interested in that. Again, I like to usually push it towards 10s and towards jacks, since those are the kind of cards that we tend to re-roll towards but not play. They're kind of like the last effort of cards that we have to play. And so it usually feels like those are pretty decent upgrades for us. So let's upgrade into the steel. Not a bad start here. Where are you at? Square Joker we're going to buy. Okay. So what do we got here? Double tag, voucher, don't want, and then play only one type of hand this round. So a little bit that we're going to have to work towards in terms of that final Joker. I don't really want to be stuck trying to play pairs there. We're probably going to have to drop flushes on that round. But let's come in and upgrade the Square Joker a little bit. We could just be trying to high card out here. Maybe that's what we should have been doing. So we can level up the Joker just a little bit, but let's try and make sure that we have a hand to play towards at the end of the day, right? So we can maybe build towards the ace-high flush. I'm curious if we should just be getting rid of the 10. Just to kind of help ensure that we don't mess this up too much, right? We're not getting a ton of malt off of the 10 anyways. So, right, it's going to take our pair from 2 to 3 or our flush from like 4 to 6. And so I think it's probably fine to just get rid of at this point and then look for that final heart. Okay. Big 39 pointer. We want to play an 8. I'm curious if we I want to at least like level up a little bit here, I think. I'm always afraid of just being too greedy in this space. I think we'll still, crush the round when we hit the flush. The 10 malt is going to do quite a bit of work, and we still have 2 discards here to make sure that we find another heart. But a little worrisome. Like I'm definitely haven't gotten the full feel of how to push the strategy in this direction, in the sense that, like, what's our hand here? 1900 chips. It's very easy to just be like, okay, I play my high card, I play my high card, I play my high card, I play my flush, and then just fall short. Right? You would rather do it the other way, to where you play the flush first and then finish out with the high card hands, but you typically draw too deep when you try to do it that way. All right, let's see what we can do. We got an Arcana pack and a Buffoon pack. We're going to open both of those. The Hermit does not want to party today. So what do we got? Gold card, increase the rank of 2 cards by 1, or one thing into steel. Let's just take more steel. These are still quite good. We have Convert to Spades up top. I'm not super interested in it. I think we need this Buffoon pack, though. Our economy's kind of in shambles, but I also worry about just coming out and losing the game. And so here we go. Got the half joker. We're locked and loaded in terms of going for high cards now with square joker, half joker. We're going to be ready to pop off in terms of our build around. And so very good start to this run. All right, so what can we do here? Let's, like, I think I'm okay with that. Like, how big was that hand last time? It was for like 1800, 1900. So as long as we get some kind of big ace high flush, we should be pretty okay. Shit, we didn't play 4 cards though. That was a waste. That was a waste. Just a giant hand though. That singular hand took us up almost 1,000 chips because of the half joker. Card's insane. This thing needs tuned down. Let's see where we get. We'll just keep playing high cards. With only 4 cards here though, it does turn off the half joker. So let's see where this goes. Like I'm a little bamboozled into how we should approach this. Like we should probably be scaling up the square joker, right? And then for our hand after that, we'll play the half joker. Got us to 156. So now we want to play a 3-card hand. So we go with like a 9 and a 9, and the 8 doesn't matter. I don't think we need to play the jacks, right? I mean, the steel card's going to give us more than the extra 2 chips. All right. $1,400 off of a single pair. This. I don't feel like it's a waste of time, right? If we're running through and I just completely bomb it like that, but it's just it's so much less stressful to run it the other direction, to where you're actually playing the hands that you want to play. All right, so how do we go here? I do like the Fortune Teller, the +1 mult per tarot card used. We're already at +9. This will very easily be up around 20 or so by the time the run is over. So I think that's a reasonable pickup. Then I'm going to just skip the Arcana pack in the back line. We do need to manage our economy just a little bit. And so I would like to get a little bit of upgrades there if we can. But now going into this, I do feel a little bit better about you only get to play one hand type this round. So we can just pretty easily roll forward with pairs. Let's just take the 4-card pair of 3s. It's going to be a much stronger hand this time, given that we have the Fortune Teller giving that 9 mult in here. About 600. No more pairs though. Take the discard. Got a pair of 10s now. I'm gonna continue on with the 4-card pair to keep leveling up the square joker. We will need to switch to 3-card pairs at some point to push through, I think. So we're good with just the pair of aces, right? I don't think that'll finish off the round. We could definitely finish it off if we only played the 3 cards, but I think this is okay. Ooh, just 90 short. Planned it like that. Oh, can't play 2-pair though. So no reason to drop down to 3. We can continue to level up the square joker here. Only needing 90 chips is going to be a very easy finish for the round. All right, good stuff, good stuff. And again, we've got a pretty nice base here, right? We've got a plus chip card, we've got a scaling flat mult card, we've got another very good flat mult card. In terms of our jokers, we really just, like, I wouldn't be opposed to having an economy joker over the course of the next 4 or 5 antes, and then we need some X mult, something to really pop off on that big, that big bonus multiplier. And so See how it goes. But here, I'm just going to skip forward. The tarot card sucks. Jupiter sucks. I don't care about these big packs. I want to work up the economy just a little bit. So here, I do like the coupon tag. The initial cards in the booster pack are going to be free, especially in the sense that we still need more jokers and we want to hit all of the tarot cards for the fortune teller. I think that's a good skip. Down here, though, the discards one, I'm not as interested in. So let's just go ahead and do battle with it, see if we can't upgrade a bit before we get to this last boss. Alright, I do get a little bit confused with like the half joker and having the jokers that give you a bonus for playing the pair, right? You play a pair, get 8 mult, so I have to watch ourselves just a little bit. Let's lead out with this pair of 9s though. I was thinking of playing the 2 pair, but I think this is okay. Got us just under 1,000 with the 9s. Let's see what a 2 pair gives us. Just be a little curious. About 1,200. All right, I'm gonna switch to playing the 3 card ones now. I'm getting a little too scared. I think we'll be okay. Like we'll probably just crush through the entirety of the hand with this one, but I get a little concerned. Yeah. It's one of those things to where like I'm surprised somebody hasn't made a mod that just tells you how much every hand that you generate makes. It gets like really closely to the point to where it's like, you know, like why even bother playing? You just let the game tell you what your strongest hand is and play that one. And so I'm glad that that's not a thing, I think, but it's there. All right, so we'll pick up the flower pot. This is one that it doesn't work with the half joker. I mean, if we're going to be realistic, I could eventually see us selling the half joker at some point, and they're really just tying into the square kind of theme, right? If we want to play a 4-card hand, and then now with the flower pot, we can play the 4 different suits to get the big X mult. Like that might be something a little bit more worthwhile to play towards than keeping the half joker. I'm not entirely certain how I feel about that, because the half joker is so strong. Right, but it's something that seems very, very doable to me. So let's see what turns up here. We do see the Fool. We are trying to shoot for pairs, at least at this point, so that could be decent. Otherwise, glass card, diamonds, don't care about. Increase the ranks is kind of okay. We can increase the 10s into jacks, but I'm not really sold on that. I feel like that doesn't really push our agenda. Right, we don't really care about the cards we're playing as much as the bonuses for playing the bonuses we get from the jokers. And so I'm just gonna take the Fool. We'll level up pair. That's gonna be our bread and butter hand the remainder of the run. What do we got here? High card turns up. Sure. Playing cards in the shop, I don't want that whatsoever. All right, moving on. All face cards are drawn face down. Not that bad. That's an easy one for us to just battle through. If we want to play, you know, like the pair of aces, it doesn't really affect us in that sense. And so, should be good. It didn't hit the big mult here, and then this one is a jack, I believe. Right? It popped the it popped the steel. And so these 2 face down cards should be jacks, I believe. Let's just go ahead and find out. Yeah, I was right. I wasn't ultimately super familiar with what was in our deck, but I think this is fine. We might need to start switching into either 3 cards, or we need to have these 2 pairs that line up with the suits, right? So it's going to probably just be a little bit easier to play the 3 cards here. We do have, I guess we have the World in hand. If we want, we can say make the 10 of diamonds or make the ace of diamonds into a spade. And then that would give us the, say, heart and diamond, and then give us the spade and the club. Maybe that's a reasonable way to go about it. Probably should have just sold this tarot card a long time ago, but it is what it is. Yeah, this would just be a massive hand here with the 2 pair. All right, massive was a bit of an overstatement. And that does bring up an interesting point, right? I just kind of envisioned us playing towards the pairs, and if we're wanting to use the flower pot in that sense, we do need to be hitting 2 pairs, right? So that we get the usage out of all 4 cards. I have to circle back and think of how I think of that. But nonetheless, popcorn is a very powerful joker. The flat plus 20 malt is going to just carry through some of these upcoming rounds, but let's open with this Arcana pack first. You got to see a hermit at some point, right? There he is. Take the double money. Kind of interested in permanently gaining the +1 hand per round. Maybe that's going to be a little bit... it's not to say that the popcorn is going to be bad. Like, the popcorn is going to be fine. But I do like this in the sense that if we're going to kind of derp around with upgrading the square joker, it gives us a little bit more leeway in terms of fucking stuff up. You know? It's just very good at fucking things up. Let's take this spectral pack, see what turns up. Kind of interested in skipping the next round as well, but see what turns up. So convert all hands to a single suit is whatever, and then destroy a random card in hand, get 3 enhanced face cards is where I'm leaning towards. That's kind of fine. We blew up a regular queen. Like we hit a lucky, a plus chip, and steel. Now, do we want the foil joker? We're pretty set in terms of chips at this point. Like, I'm not upset to hit chips on one of our jokers, but we don't really need them, right? As if things continue on the way they have been, our square joker is going to be like plus 150 or so chips by the time we get at the end, and that's a pretty powerful number. But I don't think this boss is going to be tough. Let's go for a bit of a swing for the fences, if you will. Okay, so do we want to get out of this round really fast so that we can try to lose less money? I'm not opposed to it. We're kind of short in terms of activating the flower pot, though. So I think we'd want to do something like this, just the pair of 10s with 1 more card. Just discarding the 2, try to find a king or something off of this. Okay. So we won't be upgrading the square joker, but this should be the kind of like highest point total thing that we're able to do. Only 47.25. I was expecting a lot more money to come out of that. What's better? Is a 3 of a kind better? The pairs are at 40 by 4. 3 of a kind is at 30 by 3. So pairs are better than 3 of a kinds, just in terms of raw stats. And then full houses are at 40 by 4, but we don't want to play that many cards. All right, let's try and get into these bigger 2 pairs. Do we ever want to play the flush? I mean, we do get plus 10 malts. It's not as good as what the half joker provides, but it does let us just put more cards out onto the board. So we'll get plus 22 instead of plus 30, but it does have a lot more chip scoring coming out of it. Sure, let's see what that brings. Hey, 20 gold off of the lucky. makes up for some of the money we're losing this round. What is that? That was worse than a pair. All right, so we'll go back to just playing pairs, I guess. I'll keep losing the extra gold to make sure that we get the playable hands here. What do we need? Okay, we should be set. I feel a little bit better now that we've gotten up to 14K or whatever this is. So let's play a 4-card hand this time. And then I think we can just finish off with one more pair. We still have a discard if we need to. Holy shit, that was a bad hand. Jesus Christ. I did not expect that to be so bad. Okay. I guess we can see if we can't hit. I mean, we have this one discard. I didn't realize the 3-card hand just was not nearly as good. We do have this 2 pair. Right? We have the heart, diamond, club, spade. I don't know if that's is like outright better or worse than a pair though. Where does that land? So we're at 2. We'll go to 3 malt because of steel. 15. And then 15x3 would get us up to 60. But if we go with just a pair, we're at 4, goes up to 6. 18, 38. I mean, I think that malt was added up, right? Maybe it doesn't matter either way. See how far away from 60 malt we are since I can't fucking add. 45. I just multiplied it a little bit wrong. It's tough. It's tough. I'm getting so worried with this though. It's like it feels like this run is just like primed and ready to be an easy win, and I'm going to be the one that fucks it up, and so it's tough. All right, so we've got the invisible joker. This is fine. We did fuck this up in our last run. I thought you got to pick what joker it was, but it is random. And so I think we'll sell the flush joker. We have no usage for that whatsoever. Pick up the foil invisible joker. Any of these copies is fine. I'm pretty certain we want to get rid of the flower pot. And then we'll eventually just say, okay, you know, the 100 chips from the square joker is enough. I'm going to quit fucking around with... trying to level up the chip count on this thing. But happy enough to pick up the double interest. That's really going to get our money up and running from here on out. Let's see what we can do. Are these both negative jokers? I'll take one. Like that last run felt kind of scary, right? I felt like we struggled with that boss just a little bit, and we do want to play some rounds to actually activate this invisible joker. And so let's skip one. We'll do battle with the second one. See if we can't upgrade our deck just a little bit before we come into these boss rounds. So we want the 4-card hand. Oh, that's only 2K. Oh my gosh, this stuff is so worrisome. Like, I guess it's just off the table at this point. We just have to play 3-card or less hands from here on out. Like, I think that just is what it is. So let's play these pair of aces. Can't level up the square joker anymore until we get another joker up and running in our hand. So we'll probably want to sell... oh my god, are we just going to straight up lose this? Jesus. Oh, did it just accidentally discard our only pair as well? I was trying to manage those discards, so if we completely missed, we still had a pair in hand. Alright, we got some jacks. Oh, this just not... This just does not feel like it's going to be enough. Need like 9K a hand. That's only 7K. We're gonna have to hit on, I was gonna say, like a bonus card out of the top end, or something else to load up with our king. Maybe our king will get lucky. He's gonna have to. And we didn't land on the pair of kings either. I think we're just dead. We're just dunzos at this point. Can't use the flower pot even if we want to. Man, if I had realized it was so bad, we could have just played a single pair on the first hand, but wasn't quite it. So I guess this is the way, right? We just play the singular king, and then we have that 1 in 5 chance of the 20 mult. So 20% chance we get to carry on. Nope, you didn't activate, my friend. You did not activate. So all right, not a bad run. Like that's tough. I feel like, again, like our deck was in pretty good space. I felt like we were able to pick up on the strategies early and get a good start and get off to a good run. The problem that we ran into there is that's a tough like thing to kind of balance, right? In terms of, okay, we have the square theme and air quotes, if you will, with the square joker and then the flower pot needing you to play 4 cards, but we also have what is arguably the best joker in the game, and the square joker, that you get the bonus for playing 3 cards or less. And there is a very direct a very direct competition between what's going on there, right? Do I level up my square joker, or do I have to play a small hand to get the 20 malt out of the half joker? And we weren't really able to manage that to my liking. It's one of those things to where I don't like that kind of stage of the game. It's very stressful to me and very not fun to me when you have to decide, okay, I want to play a bad 4-card hand, bad 4-card hand, bad 4-card hand. Now I'm at the last one. I need to play a 3-card hand so that I can get the big bonus malt. And it's just tough for me to kind of like, I don't want to sit around and do the math to determine what our hands are going to score from here on out. And so to be in that space is kind of a tough spot. And so, you know, the way I prefer to do it is, you know, you play your high scoring hand and then you just get to filter in the remaining hands from there, and it's just not the way it works. And so, you know, it's tough. You know, I think a stronger player would have more easily been able to cap this one off, or maybe it's just safe to say, like, okay, I've got 50 chips on my square joker. That's enough, and you don't just kind of dick around like we did there, because that's something that we could have we could have very easily scored enough points on this run if we didn't try to level up the square joker on the first hand. But you know, when you play that hand and you go, eesh, this is only like 4,000 chips and I really need to get about 8,000 chips out of every hand, you can't recall and go back. And so it's a bit of a pain point for me. And so I think, you know, this is a fair strategy to carry on if you're, you know, strong enough to do the chip math and figure out how these hands are going to kind of interact as you play them. Otherwise, I think it's probably worth just kind of like passing on the strategy in terms of the synergies between the square and, I don't know, the triangle, the triangle, if you will, out of the half joker aren't that strong. And while they do operate on similar hands, wanting to operate on pairs, it may not just be worth going for. And so I think realistically, at the end of the day, we probably should have just built towards the triangles, right? Go for the half joker and use that as our build around piece, and then look to just filter away from the square joker. And then if we get in that space to where, you know, we need, say this hand where we need 37,000, we play the 3-card hand, we get 10. We play the 3-card hand, we get 10. We play the 3-card hand, we get 10. Now we're down to 2 hands. Maybe we just pop off a square to level up the chips a little bit, and then, you know, get the final hand in there. You can do something in that vein. But, you know, this is ultimately a fairly frustrating run for me, in the sense that, like, I can visualize and see all the tools are here in terms of popping off, but it very quickly goes from being a fun game into being a math problem, and I'm not here to do math problems. And so that's kind of the downside to having this kind of hand come together. But nonetheless, good stuff. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bustin. We thank you for being here.